Hi there, I'm Jay Walker and I'm here to talk about the climate crisis we're in. Munich Re, the large insurance company, says that we're experiencing 3 to 4 times more climate-related events than we were in a mid-1980s baseline. That's things like hurricanes, tornadoes, large storms, landslides, floods, all those kinds of things. If we carry that trend line forward 60 years, we're going to have 30 to 60 times more events than we did in that mid-1980s baseline. We all know that's not sustainable. We know that's not a livable future we're heading towards. So we need to change things. And we need to institute what economists are saying the best way to get off a carbon economy is a carbon tax. And Mr. Harper is wasting everyone's time. He says carbon taxes are a job killer. Well, Mr. Harper, what do you think it is when Calgary gets flooded out and people are wiped out of their homes and businesses and have to go elsewhere? About 20% of people are uninsured for events like that. What do you think happens when the forest fires destroy forest communities, ruin homes, ruin businesses? Do you not think that's a job destroyer, Mr. Harper? What about when we have events like we had the recent storm in Vancouver that wiped out power for 500,000 people for several days, still trying to restore power? That wipes out the refrigerator, things, perishable goods, things of that nature. That's all a tax on our wallets and purses, Mr. Harper. You need to get into the modern economy. You need to wake up to the fact that we're in a generational event here, the most serious crisis mankind has ever faced. Humanity has never faced a crisis like this. We don't have time to diddle. We don't have time to dither anymore. And unfortunately, I can only say that you've wasted your time in office on this. You're busy spending money on ads to brag about your income splitting or pension splitting. I don't care about that. I'm in that age group. I could care less. I want to make sure I got a habitable future for my children. And I know you've got a couple of kids, and I'm shocked that you're not moving in that regard too. I'm shocked that you don't know enough and haven't educated yourself enough to see what's going to happen, what's coming down the pipe here at all of us, and to start making plans to change that. Making plans for the next year, for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years. Cajoling and persuading people to change their things, passing regulations to encourage some things and discourage others. No, Mr. Harper, unfortunately you've wasted your time, and I'd encourage everyone looking at this or thinking about this, think about that on October 19th. We no longer have a generation to pass this disaster off on. It's coming. We've seen it this summer. We've seen it the past few years, past half dozen years, and it's getting stronger all the time. You can see it every time you turn on the news, every time you look at a documentary. We know what's going on. We need to vote for different people. And unfortunately, Mr. Harper, you have totally wasted your time in office and all of ours. So please think about that when you go to the polls on October 19th. Think about getting some leadership in the carbon economy that we're in the climate crisis we're moving into. We're going to be lurching from crisis to crisis, and it's time we started dealing with it, thinking ahead, and trying to stick-handle our way through what's inevitably going to be some very tough waters for us. So I'd encourage everyone to think about voting for someone different than Mr. Harper. Unfortunately, he has not grasped the mantle of leadership, the obvious one that's in front of him. Thank you, and think about that on October 19th.